So I want to introduce you guys to my all-time favorite toy in my entire collection that I've ever owned, ever, okay? And also my favorite fictional character of all time, Optimus Prime. Back in 1985, I got this guy for Christmas, right? My parents got him for me. This is the original one. This is the G1, Generation 1 Optimus Prime Transformer. Played with him nonstop as a kid. Still play with him a little bit as an adult, but we don't need to talk about that. But anyway, so this past Christmas, my wife was nice enough to pre-order something for me that just arrived at my door today. This is straight from Japan. Something we want to unbox and want to show you that's going to be a pretty cool counterpart to this guy right here. So, yeah, I was big into Transformers. Obviously, still am. My wedding band actually has the Autobot logo on there. I don't know if you can see it there or not, but yeah, I've always been a fan, and my wife completely supports my habit. I don't say hobby anymore, I say habit. But she got me this, and I was so excited, and I've been waiting for, a couple months now for this to come in, and it just arrived. So let's see what we got. So this came from a company, I've never heard of them before, but it's either Amy or Ami or I have no idea how to pronounce it, but that's where this came from. So let's take a look inside here. We got some anime brochure kind of thing here, a little insert. Don't really need that. That's all good. But yeah, let's see what we got. Now, I'll tell you one thing I have to do is I have to rewatch the G1 cartoon here at some point and give that another viewing because it's been too long since I've seen it. But anyway, this is what we're talking about here. Put this aside. Look at that. Woo! That's cool. So this is straight from Takara Tomy. Just came out. You had to pre-order these, and I think the pre-orders sold out almost instantly, so it's pretty hard to find. I don't even know if you can buy it now. I think you had to pre-order it. But what this is a re-release of the G1 Optimus Prime figure, right? But it has all updated, articulation and things. So just to kind of point out some things before we jump into this. So this is a great toy, right? Really durable, has some metal parts to it. Really withstood the test of time, all things considered. Like I said, I played with this as a kid, and it's still intact. I still have all the pieces. But you can see here, there's some points of articulation you kind of wish it had. Its mobility is somewhat rigid. It's still a great toy. It's fantastic. But like the head doesn't turn. Some of the joints are kind of stiff. His legs they move backwards, not forwards, kind of thing. So, some limitations, but not many. It's still, like I said, great figure. This one kind of takes it the next step. This is the version 2.0 of this figure. So let's see if we can open this up and take a gander. Of course, we want to be real careful with the packaging because I save all the packaging to these. I think that's important to do. I never did save the packaging. Even as a kid, I was pretty fastidious about, keeping some of the stuff from the boxes. I had all their tech spec cards and all that kind of stuff. I saved that stuff as a kid, but I didn't really think to save the actual boxes, because when you're a kid, you're just ripping into stuff. You just want to play with your toys, right? So as an adult, you kind of, you're a little more tactful, a little more careful, hopefully. So, all right, let's see here. What I like to do, I always like to open these boxes from both sides because it limits the amount of strain that you put on trying to pull anything out from the inside. You don't want to destroy the box, this thing isn't going in the Smithsonian or anything, but I'd still like it to be in relatively decent shape, So we're just going to pull this out. Plus, this helps too because I flat pack all my boxes. I don't keep them, three-dimensionally. I try to lay them flat somewhere. It saves space, and it actually keeps the box lasting longer. You're not worrying about crimping it up or destroying it or anything like that. So it's just something that sort of preserves the overall aesthetic. All right. The packaging on this is amazing too. Look at this. So you still have the original illustrations on the back. I think I think this is Mark Watt's work on the back, the original, like, the panorama, the poster view of, like, all the G1 Transformers. I think that's who did that illustration. I'm trying to find if his name is on it. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it was him. He did, like, a lot of their original work, and I had the honor of meeting him a couple of years ago. I've spoken to him. Real nice guy. He's super cool. Yeah, Mark Watt. So I'm going to put the box aside for now. And look at that. Everything's packed nicely. We have the literature here. Comes with, you know, the official, like, card there. They call him Convoy. That was his name overseas. We know him as Optimus Prime. But this is going to have some of the, you know, assembly instructions. I don't think there's a whole lot to assemble. Probably Roller and his wheels and things like that. Yeah, like if you look here, you know, I think most of the stickers are already on here. Comes with the Matrix. That's pretty cool. So we'll pop all the small parts out first because I just don't want to lose them. So here we go. The Autobot Matrix of Leadership. Check that out. Look at, I can't open it. All right, we'll lay that there. Put this plastic stuff on the side. All right, next. Here we go. Got the rifle. That's kind of a rework too. That's like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is why this is so cool. So if you look at the geometry of the gun that they give you now, it actually will fit in his hand. See, before the back part here, like the stock, it bumped his own arm, so he couldn't even hold it the right way. It was kind of hard to finagle. Like, look at this. So this is the original design. I'm going to remove it for illustrative purposes here. So you can see, like, they used to have sort of like that fake pistol grip and trigger behind the actual post that fits his hand, and it's on the same plane. So he'd have it in his hand and it would kind of tilt, or you'd have to, like, make it go cockeyed just to fit in his hand. Like there you go. Like, it doesn't swivel further than that because it hits him right in his own arm. Well, like this thing, the new one, has the redesign here. So I'm assuming it doesn't have the, yeah, there you go. It doesn't have the pistol grip on the back anymore. It has a post right there, and then it has the original post. I don't know why they would want to keep that. You could probably just do with one, but they opted for two. So that's an improvement right off the bat. I can tell, like, that's, you know, they put some thought into this, right? So we have, there we go, the obligatory missiles that everybody loses, except for me. I kept mine. I still have mine. Look at that. Let's see how they compare. Let's pop one out. Let's see if they're about the same. They are. They're exact. Yeah, they're identical. Yeah, you can. It's hard to probably see there, but the one in the middle, this one is the original, and it looks just like the new ones. So good on them. They kept that the same. This thing always wants to fall down, the little radar antenna thing there. All right, so we got the missiles. That's cool. I got some wheels here for Roller. You know, it takes like just a moment to pop these off, so we'll just do that real quick and we'll put him together. Roller was another component that, whoa, you know, he would either get lost or damaged. He's just that little piece here that accompanies Optimus Prime. Look at this. I got parts flying all over the place. There we go. There we go. Roller. So I know that there was like a silver variation of this in the original. I don't remember if it was like region specific or if it was like the first run got the silver one or the blue one got the first run. I don't remember. I'd have to ask somebody who knows more about it than me. I'm into Transformers, but I don't consider myself like an expert on all of the toys. I have a lot of, you know, Optimus Prime toys in particular, but I know there are people out there that are like encyclopedic. They would know the answer to those questions. All right, let's put his tires on here because Roller can't roll without wheels. All right, making sure I'm putting them on the right way. How did they look originally? There we go. Okay. There we go. I don't want to break this guy, you know, day one. That would not be cool. Okay, these just snap right on. 6 wheels. And he's got like this kind of like little moon vehicle, dune buggy kind of look to him. there you go. That's the silver one. So yeah, pretty cool. I always like how he held Optimus Prime's gun. If you want, you can kind of pop that in there. See if this trick still works. It does. There you go. Ta-da! When you figured that out as a kid, you felt like you were awesome. You're like, oh man, I can put a little gun on top of Wheelie. He's awesome. We got the fuel hose here. This is the one piece from the original G1s. Everybody that resells this thing, they always lose this hose. I mean, because number one, it's small. It's kind of dainty to it. It doesn't look like much. It's just, you know, like kids, you play with them, you're going to lose a piece. That's the most commonly lost piece. That and the missiles. And his hands. Everybody loses Optimus Prime's hands because they're, you know, a pegged feature. They go in, like right into his wrist. There's a small peg on the back that, you know, inserts in there. So cool. So we got that. Oh, this is cool. So this is something that I like how they've included this as, you know, a feature with a lot of the more modern figures is the Energon axe that was featured in the G1 cartoon very early on. He has that fight with Megatron and they're standing on top of a dam. I remember the moment exactly, like in the cartoon, like they're about to face off and you knew it was going to be a fist fight. And like they both pop out these Energon weapons that had nothing to do with the toy, right? Like this was nothing we saw anywhere besides the cartoon at the time. So Megatron pulls out, you know, basically like what's, I guess would technically be considered what, a Morning Star or is it a flail? I don't know, but there's like a spike ball and a chain. And Optimus Prime has this Energon axe, and they just go at it. They just fight, and it was the coolest thing ever. You're like, oh my god, that's badass. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. So, all right, now I just want to take these out in alphabetical order here. I think the trailer is easier to remove first. I think, but I don't want to like force it, you know. It's really, really secure. The problem is, you see, like, he's kind of hooked on to Optimus Prime here, so I don't want to... I think maybe you got to pull both pieces at the same time. How the hell am I going to do that without, like, potentially snapping something off? Like, I don't want to just, like, dump this thing like this. This is not my... And everybody's probably cringing watching me do it like this, but there's just no way you can just pull it vertically. You kind of have to pull it out on the side. There we go. Okay. All right, good. No harm, no foul. Awesome. So here he is in all of his glory. Now, not once did I ever read the instruction booklet to a Transformer that was like, you know, pre-2000s, because they're all pretty easy to transform. But let's start off. Let's start off with the trailer. Let's take a look here. So a lot of this stuff kind of looks the same. Still has the side stanchions here that fold out. Okay. Back still opens up, I think. Does it? Ooh, it's tight. Oh, there. There we go. Okay. That's a lot more rigid like than the original. The plastic feels different too. It has almost, I don't know if it's just like time has hardened this plastic or whatever. This just feels like a harder style plastic. And even if you look here, you can see the plastic quality. It's got like that like plastic grain to it. I wouldn't say it's cheaper per se, but it just has a different feel. I don't know how to describe it. I'm really, really trying to be careful with this thing, as you can probably tell. I know how this is supposed to go, but it doesn't want to do it. Wow, this is super rigid. Oh my gosh. It has there are 3 locks up here, but all of them seem like they're unlocked, but for whatever reason, this thing still just does not want to open. It's really... Okay, you know what? The hell with it. I'm going to break down. I got to read the instructions here. Maybe there's a trick to it. I really don't want to break the damn thing, you know, because, you know, you want to see a grown man cry. That's how it would happen. Right, let's open this up. Let's see what we got. All right. So... like I said, you got your little card here, which is kind of cool. Now, it's all in Japanese on the back. I can't read any of that. Have at it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Got the cool illustration on the front. This thing, if you guys remember, you know, they used to have on the back here, right, the tech spec card. So you put this little red thing over it, and voila, see? Ooh, kids used to flip out over this. It was so neat, but it has like all their, you know, specs spelled out. I don't know what, again, this is all in Japanese, so I have no idea. But like, it would be like strength, endurance, leadership, skill, speed, you know, break down all their abilities and their ratings, which was kind of cool. So let's see what else. We opened it, might as well go through the whole thing now. Again, all in Japanese, which is okay, but hopefully they have some illustrations here. So this is like, this is just telling me everything that comes with it. Okay, maybe basic brochure here. It's kind of giving you a little bit of a look here at the different points of articulation and things, which is really cool. I dig it, but again, I can't read any of it, so just kind of hoping we get some good drawings in here somewhere, so that me being a dummy, I can figure it out. I'm doing this later. I'm not doing this on the video. This is your sticker sheet. I'm real careful about how I lay stickers on these things. Even back like when I was a kid, you can kind of see, like, I was very meticulous with these. I really wanted them to look good. So even, you know, what, 40 years later, I still want it to look a good certain kind of way. So I'm going to do the stickers later. All right, here's the big ticket item. Let's see. We got our instruction booklet. Can't believe I'm reading the instruction booklet. See, to me it feels like I lost a piece of myself. Like I used to be able to just rip into Transformers and bang them out with no problem. Okay. It says it just snaps apart, the trailer. You're looking at what I'm looking at. It says it right there. That's how it was with the original toy, so here goes nothing. I guess I just gotta give this thing a little bit more force or something, but God, I don't want the damn thing to break. Okay, you know what? I think I see what the issue is. I think. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oh my God. I can't open the damn thing. Oh my gosh. And there's nothing here that locks it or anything. I swear I'm doing this right. Maybe when this was assembled, something was over tightened. God, I have no idea. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on. This sucks. I don't want to break the damn thing. What the hell? I can't transform. Oh my gosh, it's embarrassing. What the heck? What would have caused this? I can't even get my hand. Oh my gosh. All right, there we go. That was really, really tight. I see what happened too. If it's gonna be like impossible to see on I don't think you'll be able to see this on camera. So it seems like because of the way it was packaged, the top was bowed in just ever so slightly, and all the interlocks kind of had a curve, and they were all curving inward up against each other. So I had to get my hand in there, kind of unfold them, and then pull it apart. So that's what happened. So it's, you know, didn't break anything, thank God. That's good. Happy about that. But a transformer that doesn't transform is kind of a waste. But, you know, just my opinion. All right, let's take a look. So I can see some differences. So some of the metallic part, I noticed like with, in particular, like with the silver, the gray pieces here, like with, you know, this platform, the outside, the exterior, this part here. I like the articulation's really good. Like it feels like the pieces stay in place more. But then like these are kind of worn, right? Because I played with them like crazy. So these parts aren't as stiff as they used to be. Like this used to stay up, and now it's just kind of like it just falls. This is brand new. This thing is rock solid. So this is all good to go. You got the little cockpit in there. That's awesome. Let's put a missile or two in there. Just for old time's sake. There we go. Cool. Do they fire? Ooh! They do fire! They fire a lot farther. See, again, this is the springs in this guy. I mean, they're shot. Like, it's so old. But this one, the springs are like brand new. So it's got some tension to it. It really wants to fire these out. That thing shot across the table. I'd say it fired about a yard. Which is pretty cool, you know. So, nice. Got your little claw here. Got your satellite dish. Pretty neat. Pretty cool. Now, for all intents and purposes, these are the same layout. Like, I'm not seeing too much difference between these two models. The holes here that can hold the gun and things like this, they have sort of like a hexagonal inside. They're not completely circular like these. Again, I don't think it's a big deal. Wheelie does not have his little ejection spring anymore. So with the original, Wheelie, I meant, oh God, Roller. Roller has his, we do not want Wheelie. Roller used to have this thing where you press down on the little tab in the back and he fires forward. Not very far, mind you. And that's not just because this toy is old. I don't really ever recall it doing much more than that. It's not like you would hit it and it would fly like right down the ramp or anything. The spring in this thing was always notoriously weak. You know, so they didn't even try to replicate it with this one. So he still has the prongs on the back that this one does to insert inside this ejection module. But I mean, you can see this one, they go in fine, they're great. This one doesn't even have it. It's funny too, because they kept the little tab on the back, but it doesn't do anything. It's just there for, you know, I don't know, what? Just for the hell of it. I don't know, for aesthetics. Who knows? Who knows why it's there? I don't know. But yeah, so he just kind of sits in there now. He doesn't really, you know, whatever. So that's Roller. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm down with this. All right, so at some point later on, you know, I'm probably going to sit here with these two, like, you know, side by side. I'm going to put all the new sticker sheets on this one and make sure it all jives and everything is good. So, okay. So, here we go. This is the moment we're all been waiting for. So, here we go. Optimus Prime. Let's transform him. And by the way, I don't know if it's just my imagination or this new one feels a little heavier. It's got a little more weight to it. I can't be sure, but honestly, it kind of does feel like there's more to him. I think maybe there's, okay, so I can tell you right now, if I pull this down, you know, there's more like inside of him. So like your matrix, you know, can go in there, I assume. Yeah, that's what they want, which is pretty freaking awesome, honestly. Look at that, fits right in there, nice and snug. You can fold that right back up in there. Pretty cool. So that's amazing. The original Optimus Prime, you'd fold this down, and it's just kind of got like, almost like, I want to say they're like seats, but they're not even seats. They're kind of like two little compartments here. For most of us, that's where we would put his hands. You know, that we'd keep him in there so we wouldn't lose him. Whenever we transform him, we'd be like, you know, throw his hands in there. That's where they go. All right, let's transform. Oh, you know what? Speaking of hands, oh, I see what they did here. This is so cool. All right, okay. Let's reverse here for a minute. So underneath here, you can't just whip his legs back up. You know, like how this one was. You kind of have to like widen his legs just a little bit because there's a little flange on both sides here that kind of keep his legs straight, which I think is pretty brilliant, actually. And his legs flip out like so. Pretty cool. All right. Get the feet down. That's cool. And then I'll get his arms out. Very like I said, as carefully as we can be with this. Okay. So now you see his hands are attached. They're part of it. They're no longer, a peg insert that's a separate piece. His hands are connected. They fold inwards when he transforms. Just taking a look here at everything. Oh, his wheels come up. Oh, wow. All right. There's a lot to unpack here. Okay, that's cool. Let's get the other arm out. And it's always weird when and no matter how old you get, you always have this one thing you do with Transformers. Even though you know how to like transform them, the first time you ever do it, you're so like gingerly about it, and you're trying to force it, but not really force it, because you know the part is supposed to move, but you don't want to overdo it and overcorrect and break the damn thing. So always good to pay attention to that kind of stuff. So I'm super impressed with this already. This is an amazing piece. So his head still does not turn. That's okay. That would have been an easy thing for them to include, right? His head is never going to turn. We're never going to have... I'm sure there have been Optimus Prime toys where his head turned, but not this one. You know which one? I know for a fact his head did turn was the Lego Optimus Prime. That one, his head has like full articulation, and that thing is ridiculous. It's definitely worth owning if you're a fan. So look at the articulation here. For the first time ever, his arms move upwards. Now this one, the original, he had no, rotator cuff, more or less. His arms could only go back and forth. So you can see here from behind, your points of articulation is very limited. It only went back and forward like that. This one, they're moving up and down, outwards. They rotate this way. Very cool. And now I'm not going to test this theory, but you can see here, his arm is kind of held on with like a flange. It's like got its own socket. So I think if you do pull it out or pull it off, you can reattach it. That's brilliant. So it's not like a solid piece. Like if you're playing with this thing as a toy, I don't care how careful you are. One day it's either going to drop, or you're going to just overdo it, or piece is going to overextend. This is just amazing. This thing is really cool. I don't know the purpose of like the wheels popping out. The only thing I can think of is you pop them out before you move his legs back, and then you pop them right back down. Because that's how he's supposed to be. By all accounts, that's how I've always seen him. But this is kind of cool. So his legs, they can kind of span outwards like that a little bit. Oh, look at that. His legs move forward now. Who knew? So he can actually take a step now. Optimus can start walking around, which is cool. Again, with this one, I'm not criticizing it. Be sure to know, like, I love this toy with all my heart. These aren't criticisms, but just an observation. Like this one, his legs do not go forward. That's it. That's as far forward as they go. They move backward and down to that position. That's your range of motion. Boink, boink. So, really cool. I don't think he turns the waist or anything like that. That could have been added too. That's such a minor, well, not say minor criticism. You can kind of see how they could have done it, but maybe it would have interfered with like the look of the grill, because you would have had it have like some kind of delineation there where two pieces would marry up and he could turn. But yeah, man, super cool. I'm digging this thing. So let's see. Okay, we're gonna put the gun in his hand here, which I'm sure is going to be a lot easier. Yeah, the irony here is, as we talked about the gun earlier, the original gun had a pistol grip that interfered with his forearm when you would put the peg in. This one has the peg, but ironically, like this one doesn't have a peg insert. His hand folds over the gun. So it's real steady and it's real snug. But what's really funny is I bet you this one can hold this gun by its original pistol grip. Let's test the theory. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's just funny because this gun kind of goes with this toy better than, you know, vice versa. Let's see if it'll hold it. I don't know if it will. Barely. Like, yeah, nah, it doesn't do it. Nah, that shoots that theory down. Okay, nah, I just thought maybe like it could hold the grip of the original gun. I swear, it's like whoever invented the G1 gun, it was probably somebody who created the design of the gun, and then finally somebody was like, yeah, but you know he has to hold it in his hand. And the guy was probably like, all right, we'll just put like a post in the center. Not thinking like, yes, it fits into his hand, but it doesn't accommodate his wrist and his forearm. You know, there's a collision there. So, I'm going to tell you another thing I really like about this one. The smokestacks here, they don't isolate. They oscillate rather. They don't turn. Like with some of the older toys, they were only pinned in at like one section, so they would move. Like they would spin on his arm. And like that's fine if you want to pretend like that's like, you know, a gun or something that he can fire from, but that's not what it really was. It's supposed to look like that. So I think when I was a kid, I think I tacked down like a small glue point like behind like the top part here to kind of keep them firm, because they would just start to wiggle after, you know, a while. If anything is loose on a toy when you first get it, like if anything can move after playing with it for like any amount of time, it's only going to loosen up and it's going to become, you know, unappealing. It's going to, you know, move when you don't want it to. It's going to suck. So a case in point, and again, not a criticism, but this is what I'm talking about. This thing's just going to wobble all over the place. It's almost impossible to kind of keep it, you know, standing there to make it look cool. Anytime you walk into a room, anytime there's any kind of vibration or something, this thing's just going to fall. So that's why I try not to like wiggle around these pieces too much and play with them too much, because, you know, over time you're just going to loosen them up and it's going to suck. So, all right, let's figure out the Energon axe. Now, let me look at this thing. It's got... trying to figure out how to, I think this, what does this do? Does this fold down? Oh, oh my gosh. All right, you guys are going to love this. This is, again, I can't read the instructions because they're in Japanese, so we're just kind of going to try to figure this out just by looking at it. But this is what they want you to do. He's literally holding it and it's coming out of his hand. Oh my God. That's awesome. Look at it. Look at it. So glorious. So you can see his hand is still in there. It's like formed around his hand. That's super cool. Another thing, all right, let's turn this down. So there's sort of like a texturization here. Like these details on his arm, they're like embossed in there. Like you can feel like there's like a raised surface in there where there's some texture. The original toy, that part was just a sticker. You just put that sticker on there and that was his design. So what's really cool about this toy is that they improved on a lot of things that needed to be improved upon, but they didn't like go crazy about next genning it to the point where it lost its original aesthetic. Like they could have overdone it. You know, they could have put like minuscule amounts of detail in here and, you know, reformed like how, like, you know, some of the details were that really didn't need to be tweaked. But for the most part, like it's the same. You know, if I was holding this thing back 10 feet away and you were looking at it, you probably wouldn't be able to tell a difference. You'd probably think it was, you know, two of the same toy. But when you're looking at it up close, you're like, you start to appreciate some of like the nuances. It's really cool. Like again, I played with this thing like crazy. Some of the silver parts started to turn blue. Yeah, you got like that, what they call like a chrome rust kind of thing going on. But I mean, I took care of it as best I could. But you know, things happen. Part of it is the front fender. Yeah, I guess it broke off. You know, it sucks. I wish I had that piece because I would try to fix it, but I don't. Toys are meant to be played with. You know, especially like when you're a kid, man. I mean, you know, this is like the best toy I ever received. And I've received quite a few good ones, not to brag, but this stands out. I always tell my wife, if there's ever a fire in our house, you know, we have 2 cats and we have a hard drive with all our family photos and stuff, and we have Optimus Prime. And as long as all the humans are out of the house and those things can be saved, I'm fine. But she'd think I was crazy, but I'm like, I'm probably running inside the house to grab Prime if there's a fire. So just don't be too alarmed if, you know, something like that were to happen. So, other observations. It seems to me, and I can't really tell from, let me look at the front view. It's I was just gonna say, it looked like his arms are slightly, like the top of his arms are a little bit thicker on the original, but looking at it from the front, they look pretty much the same. Maybe it's just me. So, not much else to write home about. Let's look at his feet, because I think his feet tilt. Yeah, this is another thing. I almost overlooked this. So, on the G1 version, feet are, you know, they flip up and down. That's about it. This one, they can kind of rotate inwards a little bit, you know, so you have some articulation there. So it looks like he's actually standing. So if his feet are apart, he's still, you know, secured to the ground kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. The posability on this is really nice. I'm wondering if there's any pieces I may have missed that like have the new articulation. You know, of course his knees bend and all. That's kind of cool. You know, they can move forward and backward. So there's a lot more articulation you can do with this. One limitation is that the feet don't move forward more forward than that 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So they'll move back, they'll move this way. It'd be nice if they kind of like I'd say rotated a little bit more, just to kind of like, you know, so he could like take a full step and have his feet down planted so he wouldn't like fall, you know. But again, man, I'm just nitpicking. It's really not a big deal. Very cool toy. So yeah, I'm thinking that's probably, I think we hit all the big keynotes. Once I get stickers thrown on this guy and you know, some of the stuff pieced together, I'll, you know, post up some pictures or whatever somewhere. Yeah, again, like, this was my 1985 Christmas gift. This was my 2023 Christmas gift. And the thrill never goes away. I will be a Transformers fan forever. It was my hobby before all my other hobbies, before video games and before, you know, modding and racing cars, and yeah, I mean before all of it, before all the other stuff. It was Transformers. That was my, what you might call like my first love, right? So yeah, I'm just super happy. Gotta thank my wife for this. It was such a nice thing to receive. And yeah, super happy about it. So I guess we could transform him back. You know what? I'm not going to do that just yet because I got to put some stickers on him. But trust me, I'll have a much easier time transforming him back as opposed to transforming, you know, outward from the trailer mode, because that was a bit of a pain. For a second, I'm like, man, I might have to like return this thing or something. It doesn't seem right, but it's fine. It's just that everything, like, you get stuff like this, it's super, super rigid. And I've got to say, I mean, I'm probably going to limit the number of times I even go back and forth between transforming him. I think once you get it to a point where you're happy with how it looks and it's on your display and it's really cool looking, savor it, you know? Don't mess around with it too much. But, you know, hey, everybody's got their own thing. So anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Yeah, have fun. Keep your collections going. And yeah, thanks. Till all are one.